All right, fellas, let's get on to the next subject. Lord, I wish I had another bottle of Disaronno or Angry Orchards because Donald Trump, man,
Oh gosh.
he is demanding the Washington Commanders and also the Cleveland Guardians, correct me if I'm wrong, champ, to go back to the original names. This is what he put in his social media. This is what he wrote on Truth Social. I may put a restriction on them that if they don't change the name back to the original, I won't say the name, and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders, I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington. The team would be much more valuable and the deal would be more exciting for everyone. I'm reading an article from CNN's Kit Meyer regarding the deal. The organization left Washington for Landover, Maryland back in 1997. However, DC Mayor Muriel Bowser and the team announced a deal back in April to bring the Commanders back to the district at the site of the old Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium. Trump touted the deal at the time, but the proposal is stalled before the DC Council. All right, look, I got to touch on this because, again, anyone who knows me knows I am a Washington Commanders fan. I bleed burgundy and gold. No, they should not go back to the old name. I don't think we don't need to do that because we're not moving forward. We're not making any progress. I believe now if they want to keep the name Commanders or try to find a different name to build their identity, have had it. Now, again, champ, as I mentioned before, remember, isn't there some type of Native American group that has like over 100,000 signatures for them to have the name back to the old name?
Yes, that's what I was looking up right now as you was talking. I was kind of stalling if you really want me to be honest with you. But yes, in fact, Pat McAfee, I think it was the Native Americans Association. I think they had over 100,000 signatures in order to bring that back. Pat McAfee brought up that. Not to mention the Blackfeet chief himself. Well, not himself. He's passed on. God rest his soul. But his family has come out and said that we want him as the mascot back on the helmets and on the field. So there's been not only the petition, and they told this to not only CNN but Fox News as well. It's been documented, so we're not out here spreading false lies. This has been documented, so feel free to piggyback on some of the articles that we're speaking on. So there's been that, and there's also just learned this recently. There's also a lot of clamoring for some of your fellow fans because from what I've been told, a lot of the fans, the hardcore fans, don't wear the Commanders gear.
They wear the old gear
of the old team. So if you combine that, if you combine the Native Americans Association signing that petition, a lot of the old players, include I think it was Mosley, the kicker, he was clamoring for it, and not to mention, the Blackfeet Chiefs descendants, they came out and said that they wanted them to bring it back. When you couple that into a lot of things, that is going to influence a lot of guys in order to bring it back. I don't think that he should have been involved with it at this point in time, to be honest with you, because the thing is, just a couple years ago, when we had a certain incident in the NFL, everybody was talking about keep politics out of sports. So
right. And remember,
I'm trying not to bring that up, but
right. And in 2020, Washington did change the name and went to Washington Football Team because remember, this was in the aftermath of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter movement, and all these major companies, FedEx, Nike, Amazon, Dick's Sporting Goods. They were like, Washington, until you change the name and the logo of the team, we're not going to do any business with you. And Dan Snyder, the previous owner, said, we will never change the name. No, I'm not joking, champ. He said we will never change the name. You can put it in caps.
Yeah, I remember that.
My thing is with President Trump. You got bigger fish to fry. You do. Sorry, but I got to say this.
Oh.
Your job the past 6 months, to say that it's been awful would be an enormous understatement. I mean, look at what's going on with this country, with the crime, the economy, the ICE situation, all these other things that are going on in this world. So I don't need you. We need you to focus on helping out this country, helping out this world, because right now America is in the toilet. And the other reason why you're trying to be slick, or Stephen A said evasive, is because there's a certain list, Mr. President, that you don't want exposed. And it seems to me that you'll focus on other things that are less important as far as I'm concerned. If I'm Washington, if I'm Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, I ignore it. I'm going to keep the name Commanders, or I'm going to go to something else. And again, we said this off the air, champ. Go use that term in a Native American reservation and see how that will get you.
Yeah. Somebody get yourself put in a bad way. They're going to be calling out you're going to end up a code. That code is called 187. So don't.
And shout out to Max Kellerman, because he was the one who has mentioned this numerous times on First Take about the name. He said it himself. He would never use the name. And Max Kellerman convinced me and a lot of others, hey, do we really need to go and call this team that name? It's been time now for it to be changed. And look, Daniel Snyder decided to change the name because money started talking. People with money and authority, champ, as well, and you know this, BRF too. Owners don't like to be told what to do. Billionaires don't like to be told what to do. Ultimately, when Dan Snyder's pocket started talking, then he decided to jump shift. But for me, with this new ownership, whether if the fans want the name or not, whether if President Trump wants the name or not, no. Said this before. They don't need to go back to that old name. I think it's best to move on, embrace the Washington Commanders, focus on all the great things that has happened with the new ownership. We got a new quarterback. We got a new owner. We just fresh off from an NFC Championship appearance, the first time since 1991. We have the new Washington Commanders alternate uniforms. So we have a lot of good things for Washington and DC, and hopefully bringing the team back to DC, the RFK Stadium. But to go back to that old name, no, I don't think so. Because if Native Americans do find the name offensive, which some do, I can't speak for all Native Americans, but if they find the name offensive, then no, I don't need to go back to that old name. I don't. Because to me, I mean, is that what I really want to do? Do I really want to be proud of a team that offends a certain group, a certain demographic? Is that something I want to be proud of? And like I said with President Trump, man, you got bigger fish to fry, because you look at this time, you look at your second term, you've only been president for 6 months. And your second term so far is, I think, is worse than your first time. And that's saying something. It really is. And again, you just trying to ignore the big issue, which is that certain list that you don't want exposed. You didn't think I was going to bring that up. BRF, I know you wanted to touch on this because you didn't speak too much about it on Champs podcast. Floor is yours.
Y'all gotta forgive me. I kind of got to get in the holster on this one because I got a few things I got to get off my chest about this situation. First off, Donald Trump, you need to worry about getting that list out so we can find a way to boot your ass out the Oval Office. But that's another conversation, neither here nor there.
I love it.
I'm sorry.
Hey, listen. They don't call us the highlight of Friday nights for a reason.
Champ, PSP, Champ, y'all my brothers, and I love y'all to death. But I forewarned y'all before this. This ain't gonna get too bad. But in the words of CM Punk, I got some things that I got to get off my chest. It ain't gonna be a pipe bomb. It ain't gonna be a pipe bomb. You know what? The hell with it. It's gonna be a little bit of a pipe bomb. First off, stay your ass out of this. We don't need you in this. You stay over there. Something like this needs to be decided by the organization, the fans, just all that. They decide this. You stay out of it. You stay out of it. You and we go back to your first term. You seem to have a tendency to always want to put your nose in something sports related. We can go all the way back to the instance of Colin Kaepernick taking a knee during the national anthem and a particular line that you said about SOBs getting fired for taking a knee during the national anthem. We told you then to stay your ass out of sports. I'm going to tell you again. Stay your orange ass out of sports. Stay out of sports. You're lucky we have somewhat of an understanding of that executive order you signing that's taking the pay for play out of third party in the NIL. You're lucky we have a little understanding on that because that's gotten kind of out of control. Because honestly, you should stay your ass out of that too. But we have a little understanding on that. So we'll let that slide. But as far as the name of the Washington Commanders is concerned, shut your dumb ass up. Shut up. I don't want to hear nothing else come out your mouth regarding this topic as long as it's going on. Your first 6 months in office is already worse than your entire first 4 years, and they were trash. So that says something about you. So do us all a favor and go talk to your Senate, talk to your House, and quit trying to find ways to find distractions to get out of the fact that you are on that list multiple times. The fact that we know Pam Bondi told you back in May you were on this damn thing, and you've been trying to find a way to avoid any type of accountability since this whole thing has happened. Stay your ass out of sports. You don't even know politics, let alone wanting to jump into sports. Please do us all a favor. If
The boy
I
don't
could
read.
walk up,
The man don't read,
I,
DRS. He don't read.
huh?
He does not read. He does not
Let
read.
let me tell you something, okay? If I had a gigantic roll of duct tape and you gave me one opportunity to just go around his mouth and say, shut up for a month, I would be so happy to do this because he makes himself look worse and worse and worse every time he opens his mouth. It's like whenever he opens his mouth, that's like one more toe. I can only imagine the amount of feet he has put in his mouth since he became the president of the United States again. I'm like, I'm sick of him. I'm really sick of him. I'm sick of him.
Seems like
He
to me
needs
you
to.
want to put it. Seems like to me you want to put your foot in his ass.
Well, mine. Well, both of mine. Maybe borrow some others to where he can't sit down for about a couple of months because he's starting to get on my nerves. He's been getting on my nerves, but now it's like this man wants to be like this almighty above all and doesn't know just the first thing about common sense, period. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just don't say anything. Focus on what you need to focus on, which is attempting, which is, I'm saying it. Whoa, I might be understating saying it. By attempting to run this nation, it's the fact that we as a country are stuck with the idea of calling Donald Trump the most powerful man in the world. I want to throw up. The fact that we are unfortunately stuck with this man for the next 4 years, unless I hope by God they release this list and they throw him out like DJ Jazzy Jeff out of the House of Bel Air on his ass.
If I'm Washington, I would not have Donald Trump in any involvement with the name of the team.
None at all.
I would just ignore him like the NAACP. You see how the way they rejected him? Unlike the NAABJ, the Black Journalists Convention, when they brought Donald Trump there.
Man, that's crazy.
I would pretend. I would pretend.
No, we speak of facts, champ. At the same time, even though you are, I'll give you this, champ. You're taking the more PC role, and I'll give you credit. Although you smiling, you smiling like you looking at a plate of fried chicken and collard greens right now. But I'm telling you right now, champ, I'm getting tired of this Donald Trump, man. He is getting on my fucking nerves because there are far more important things to do, helping out this country, helping out this world, and you want to focus on the Commanders.
I would pretend he's not.
We all knew you wanted to try to own the football team. We all knew you wanted to try to own the football team. And which, by the way, even if you own the football team, you would have found a way to wreak havoc. You would have found a way to sabotage it. Talk about Dan Snyder, James Dolan 2.0. I believe you, as an owner of an NFL or any establishment, it would have been a disaster.
He killed an entire league. What are we?
That's my point. That's my point. Why the hell is he talking about the team, considering the fact that he sabotaged the league? But to be Chip, look, maybe I'm emotional because again, this is my team. I don't need President Trump speaking on behalf of my team. Go kick rocks. Go focus on this country. Go focus on the society. Shit. I don't need Donald Trump actually telling us to go back to the name of that team. Hell no. Go sit your ass down. Go work at the office like you're supposed to. Stop being a baby and do your fucking job.
I would pretend he's doing. I would pretend. Just pretend he's doing something like Stormy Daniels on date night.
God have mercy. Lord have mercy.
At least he say Angela White.
Just do your job. Just do your job as a president. We don't care about you talking about the name of the team and all this other stuff. Go focus on being the best president that you can be. But it seems like to me, you just can't stop putting your foot in your mouth. You just can't learn to shut the fuck up. And Donald Trump, no one cares what you have to say about the teams. You just trying to do this because, again, you can't help yourself. You just love it to be about you. You just love the attention. You just love the narcissism. You just love everything about Donald Trump. Go ahead, champ.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. In the great words of Raiden off of Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna go back to the political correctness, but the thing is, he's always had an infatuation with the National Football League, dating all the way back to his USFL days. He wanted to face the league then, and then because they wouldn't let him in the club then, so he chose to go head on with them. Then he tried to go head on and move to the fall. That is why the USFL failed, because of the lawsuit. But thankfully, he did lose. Because the thing is, without him losing that lawsuit, we don't get the Hall of Fame players that played in the NFL. From the USFL, just to name a few names, we got Reggie White, we got Nate Newton, Steve Young, Doug Flutie, just to name a few. So, I mean, not to mention Herschel Walker, but which has, yeah, he from Georgia, but yeah. We'll leave it at that. But look.
But true though.
True. But look, here's my thing for people who, and here's for you guys, and I'm gonna just take a step out of my comfort zone and say something. For those of you guys, when PSP edits this, are gonna say something, don't keep that same blank energy when you told a lot of these athletes to keep politics out of sports. Keep that same energy, because when these young men were out here kneeling and doing, and mind you, don't come at me. Let me tell you something. Before you come at me, understand this. I picked up a rifle and went across that water. So guess what? I earned what I had to say. I earned it. So before y'all go attacking PSP and attacking BRF for what they got to say, just 4 years ago, just a few years ago, we was talking about leaving politics out of sports. So why do we need a tyrant in office reigning over sports? We don't need that. The thing is, it wasn't just the Washington Commanders have a stained history. It wasn't, Dan Snyder wasn't their first bad owner. The original owner, George Preston Marshall, was a bad owner to the point where they erased his name off of everything involving that organization. Why is that, do you say? Because he named the darn team. And he had a history of being very, very prejudiced. That's why his name got erased off of everything, although he is the original owner. So for people who are going to attack BRF and PSP about what they had to say, notice this. I went across that water so guys like these men right next to me could talk. So with that being said, if you're going to leave politics out of sports, keep that same energy now. If we're going to say that, keep that same energy right now. I don't give a damn who you think have something to say. Because just a couple of years ago, keep politics out of sports. Sports has no, politics and sports go hand in hand. How the hell you think Jackie Robinson got into fucking sports? How the hell you think stadiums are built? They come from our money. So if you're going to say something to PSP, you're going to say something to BRF about what they got to say about their views, keep that same energy that you had years ago, because you told everybody to keep politics out of sports. Now we have people in office telling sports owners how to run their teams once again, because you want to take a step back and bring back derogatory names. Like I said, if the fans want to bring it back, if the Native American people and the associations want to bring it back, I have no problem with it. But if they deem it offensive, leave it alone. But the thing is, what y'all not gonna do is y'all are not gonna attack men like PSP, great men like BRF, who have something to say about politicians and politics. But when somebody did something as simple as take a knee, you had a lot to say. And it's quite ironic that a draft dodger had anything to damn say about anybody. Yeah, I said it. Why?
We only spit facts here.
Why? I joined when I was 17. I wasn't even out of high school. Yeah. So I don't want to hear shit about what a draft dodger got to say about somebody new. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all. Because I was better than you when I was 17 years old. So men like me, men like my father, men like my brother, God rest his soul, who was a tanker in the Army. Men like my uncle who fought in Vietnam. So I don't want to hear nothing about what a draft dodger got to say about it's disrespectful to the flag. It's disrespectful for the flag when you try to dodge what your duty is to your country. That's what's disrespectful. I didn't dodge my duty. My father didn't dodge his. My brother didn't dodge his, and neither did my uncle, neither did my sister, my cousins. In my family alone, there are 10 members of the military. In my family alone. So guess what? We fought so people like BRF and PSP can say what they got to say. So guess what? If you got energy for them, then guess what? Feel free to bark up this tree, because the thing is this. I don't want to hear nothing about what a draft dodger got to say about the country. I don't want to hear anything about what he had to say about anything else. Because the thing is, you're still pissed off at the NFL because they didn't let you in. That's why come you got so much to say about the NFL. They didn't let you in back in the 80s, and when you tried to buy the Buffalo Bills, they didn't want to let you in then. In fact, you were the highest bidder. And they still wouldn't let you in. So now that you're not a part of the Billionaires Boys Club, and you're a jackleg politician who couldn't pass political science if you tried, then I don't want to hear it. Keep that same energy. I don't give a damn about who you call dad. I don't give two craps about who you call. So guess what? Keep politics out of sports if you're going to keep that same energy. I don't want to hear
passing political science. That man could barely pass regular science.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear it. The thing is, don't try to attack PSP. Don't try to attack BRF, because guess what? What they have to say is just as valid as your damn opinion. And the thing is, don't try to discredit men like PSP and BRF opinion, and then when somebody else say something that's on your side of history, then you want to say, well, he has a right to an opinion. The hell with that.
Yeah, because you side with that opinion.
Yeah.
And then again, people gonna say, oh, why you gotta be so woke? Why you gotta be so woke?
Yeah,
all this other shit.
Let me I want to tell some people about that. And I hope that you clip this. It ain't woke just because your ass uncomfortable. It ain't woke just because your ass uncomfortable. I'm gonna say that one last time. It ain't woke just because your ass uncomfortable. And it ain't racist just because I'm uncomfortable. What does that mean, champ? Just because I spit some science about what just happened in history, what happening today, and what we need to do as a country, and you feel uncomfortable, don't mean I'm woke. Matter of fact, I'm probably the least woke person you probably want to ever see. Because I hate politics with a passion. Why? Because it gets people hurt. It divides us more than anything. You find more division in religion and politics more than anything on this earth. So guess what? Every time you want to get uncomfortable and you want to say, oh my God, whoa, guess what? Who cares? Be uncomfortable. You need to be uncomfortable sometimes. Guess what? I'm not comfortable talking about politics all the time. I'm not comfortable talking. I was once uncomfortable talking about sports on screen right about now. But guess what? You get over it, you learn, and you take what you need to take with you, and then you move on. But the thing is this, I don't want to hear anybody come at these two men right here talking about woke. No, they're speaking facts. Because guess what? Years ago, we was talking about keeping politics out of sports. Now we have tyranny talking about getting into sports, trying to regulate everything. I can understand if sports had a scandal, kind of like the baseball scandal, where you had steroids all around, where teams wasn't getting tested. I can understand government intervening in that because it needs to be regulated. It needed to be regulated. At the same time, baseball was at its best during that time of it being tainted and stained. So I understand politics getting involved then and there when you have no drug testing, when a lot of steroids, a lot of drugs are in sport. I can understand that. But getting involved because of a name, what are we doing? This is a name. It's the name of a team. This does not concern you. You're not an owner of an NFL team. You're not one of the governors, and you're sure as hell your name is not Roger Goodell. So you need to sit this one out. And I'm not going to bring up whatever because you young men and gentlemen and you brilliant young men and gentlemen have already brought it up. So I don't have to bring it up. But the thing is, keep that same darn energy that you had years ago when protests were going on and everything like that. Keep politics out of sport. Okay. Tell that man in the Oval Office to keep his ass out of sports, and we can keep on moving forward and we can enjoy this NFL season and I can get my hot wings in peace.
Exactly, because this is not an issue. Because this is not an issue that you need to be concerned about. Of all the things you want to be concerned about, this is the one you want to be concerned about. And again, the old name. Go to a Native American reservation and use that term. How would that go? Wouldn't go well.
It would not go well.
And I'll say it. I'll say it again. The past 6 months since he's been back at office, one could argue he has done a worse job than the first term. And we went through a lot during his first term. We don't need to go any further. And for those who may say, why are you talking about Trump? Well, because he keeps opening his mouth and talking about the name of the team. No. Stay the fuck away from our team. Go focus on this country because this country so far has been a train wreck since you've been back in office. Look at the economy. Look at all the things that have been going on in this country.
And look what you did to veterans, the very guys that y'all said that was being disrespected by the kneeling. Look what happened. So for anybody who's going to call these young men these men that I'm working with woke, go play in traffic because I don't want to hear it. And while you're out there playing in traffic, do your dance. Because the thing is, the very soldiers like myself who are affected by some of these policies, these were the same soldiers that you said were being disrespected back in 2020. So before you come at PSP or BRF about anything they got to say, think about everybody that's being damn affected by it. Because years ago, you were saying keep politics out of sports. Now that your so-called damn daddy got something to say about it, now you want to sit around here and have a damn opinion about it. Shut your damn mouths if you're not going to say nothing constructive. And keep your damn nose out of NFL business. Because you told everybody else, all the community activists, you told everybody in politics, and you told every sports star in the damn world, including LeBron James, to stay out of damn politics. So
to shut up and dribble.
Exactly. So keep your damn daddy out of politics as well. And stop trying to be damn hypocrites every time something fucking fits your damn narrative. And have some damn sense. Because you don't have piss for sense right now because of how you're looking on the internet and everywhere else. Some of you idiots out there on social media, you make the country that we fought for look horrible. All because somebody who fits your damn narrative wants to sit around here and criticize a football team about a damn name. But yet when an athlete says something about a young man getting killed, you want to say keep politics out of sports. And I'm getting angry right about now because I get tired of hearing that same bull jive every single year.
All right, no, you spitting facts, champ. You spitting nothing but
Let
facts
it
because every
let it
single
go. Exactly.
I don't even like. I don't even like raising my voice, and I don't even like talking about politics.
no. Go ahead, champ. Go ahead.
That same energy now that somebody who fits your narrative is talking about it. Because when it was on the other side of it, keep politics out of sport. It doesn't have a place in there. It's woke. Okay. Then take your non-woke ass over there somewhere and sit it down while the Washington Commanders are playing. They're not the damn R word. Tell him to go sit his ass down now. Because guess what? When it was concerning communities, when it was concerning policy, when it's concerning people getting hurt, you want to keep politics out of sports. So now that it's the name, tell him to go sit his behind back into that Oval Office and be quiet. And if you ain't down with that, you should be ashamed of yourself. Don't be a hypocrite now.
They're gonna be hypocrites, champ. Because again,
you got grown men out here calling somebody who ain't even birthed them they daddy. Go sit your ass down and shut up. I don't want to hear it. And like I said, I don't have no dog in this fight. I don't have no dog in this fight. What I get mad at is when guys like PSP, BRF, and whoever speaks, everybody wants to sit around here and criticize to stop being woke. Okay, well, if they stop being woke, how about you take your non-woke ass over there somewhere and sit it down? Because when we was talking about issues within our own community and issues about the country,
you didn't give a fuck about us.
You didn't give a blank about whoever was talking.
You just basically told us
to shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble. Shut up and play. Not give a fuck about us. So now all of a sudden you want to come and spew this bullshit? Nah, get the fuck out of my face.
Exactly.
And
so don't come around here with this dumb mess. Excuse me, PSP. I apologize.
No, it's good, man. No.
Trying to get just because he had the name should be changed. I thought you said keep politics out of sports. Because let a certain other president had said anything like that and see what you would have said.
Mm-hmm.
So now that it's fitting your narrative, you want to, yeah. Okay. If you want to keep politics out of sports, keep it out of sports. Now, it's kind of impossible to keep politics out of sports because taxpayer dollars pay for stadiums. It's kind of hard to keep politics out of sports because zoning, condemning buildings, finding a place in order to build that. Well, guess what? Taxpayer dollars. It has to go through the law. They have to meet with the mayor in order to renew their leases. In order to build businesses around that stadium, you have to go through certain policies. So guess what? Not only is NFL big business for everybody else, it's a big business for politics and the economy of those cities, of their respective cities. They have to get approval from the mayor in order to do a lot of other things. So guess what? It's kind of hard to kick politics out of sports. But if we're going to keep it out of sports as far as the political level and having uncomfortable talks, let's keep it all the way out of sports and tell politicians to shut the fuck up when it comes to sports.
Thank you.
But if we're not going to keep that same energy with everybody, then don't say a word when LeBron James, Colin Kaepernick, or anybody else comes out and say anything about injustice. Because guess what? What you're doing is you're covering up your eyes and burying your face in the sand because you don't want to see it, and you'd rather hide behind the word woke when it's time to. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well said, champ. Couldn't have said it any better. Again, with the name Washington, if they want to keep the name Commanders or find a different name, that's fine. Same thing with the Cleveland Guardians. If they want to change the name, find something different to find their own identity, fine. But going back to the old names, that doesn't make any progress whatsoever. It's just holding us back. And with Donald Trump, shut the hell up. And I don't like saying this about a president. And I understand, champ, because again, you come from a military background and you don't look at the president as one man. You look at it as like a group or an institution. But it's really hard for me to look at it when that very man in office doesn't.
What's so funny about this whole thing is this. 10 years ago, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Now, there's been a lot of politicians that have been involved with sports. You know, JFK, I never forget, he went on record saying that Sonny Liston should fight Floyd Patterson for the heavyweight title and give Sonny Liston his first title shot. Everybody knows that Gerald Ford used to play football. Everybody remembers Ronald Reagan's win one for the Gipper. You know, that is synonymous with Notre Dame. So we've seen politicians be involved with sports, but not on this type of level. As far as changing names, as far as telling the Cleveland Guardians to change their name back to, you know, a very derogatory term as well. I mean, the thing is, look, the names were changed for a reason. Names were changed for a reason. So guess what? When these names are changed, guess what? Keep your political opinions out of sports, because guess what? If they deem it as being a racist name, then guess what? Y'all always love when racism is called political when it's really not. But if somebody deems something inappropriate or something like that, and they change the name, it's all right to get mad. I would have been mad if they would have changed the Braves name, but at the same time, hey, I would have had to live with it. Atlanta still would have been my team. But we got to stop with the double standards. We're going to say keep politics out of sports, then keep the politicians out of it as well. The NFL is the last club that needs regulations. Roger Goodell and company have been ruling that for years with an iron fist. They got that map tight. Baseball, I understood because there were so many steroids. You had to strike. You had a little bit of everything going on. And Ronald Fear, the head of the Players Association, was able to do things with the Players Association for years. So they didn't have to test for steroids. So I understand congressional hearings and getting involved with that. That needed to be regulated. I can also understand, to BRS point, getting involved with NIL because that needs to be regulated at this point. I understood. But the thing is, for you to be making this big of a fuss about a name that it's already been written, history has already been done on that one, and you still making a big deal out of it, I don't think that needs to be done. And guess what? If the fans want it back, bring it back. But if they don't, and they want to keep everything the same and move forward with the progress that they have made with this special organization, then I think that the fans and the ownership should be respected. They know what they're doing. Mr. Trump, you're not an NFL owner for a reason. They kept you out of the NFL for a reason. And even when you made the highest bid for the Buffalo Bills and you betrayed the USFL, they kept you out of that club for a reason. So guess what? Now that you're not a part of that club, please excuse yourself from NFL and MLB business and get back to what you do and get to what you're supposed to be doing. Just like tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up and get back to what I'm supposed to do and go run in order to work this flab off. You need to go back to that office and work that list off. And I'm not talking about the list that you think I'm talking about. You need to work that list off of getting this country all the way together, because that is your job. Your job is not to give your input on NFL teams and what they should be doing. So in the great words of, I will use my name, Jacoby, shut up and politic.
Thank you. All right.